And I thought, oh, all right, cheesed off naturally and just got my head down. When he joined Man United, I was like, all right, get on with it. I remember the first day of pre-season, the boys were like, couldn't stop laughing at me.
Why?
Because they knew.
That you...
Yeah.
He didn't hide being pissed off very well.
Welcome to the Big D Speaks. We are going to be looking at a clip from the overlap. And this clip is going to be Andy Cole talking about how he detested Teddy Sheringham. Maybe I exaggerate a little bit there, but it's well documented that Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham didn't get on with each other. And in this clip, Andy Cole is going to explain exactly why, from his point of view, they didn't get on, or at the very least, why he didn't like Teddy Sheringham. But there's also going to be a few little funny anecdotes as well from the rest of the team, so it's not all doom and gloom. But anyway, I'm just going to get straight to the video.
It's been a well-told story about you and Teddy, and to be fair, it was never obvious in the changing room. Obviously,
Why?
It was never obvious. It was never obvious in the changing room.
I'm a nice guy. Come on, man.
Yeah, but it was never obvious in the changing room. But when I think back now, because obviously you were playing together at times, so you had to speak to each other on the pitch or give it. Never. But information over or.
Did it come from anything? Did it come from anything?
You love that one over, don't you? The instruction. Without you saying Valencia.
Hang on a sec. Say it again, Coley.
I never spoke to Yorkie on the pitch.
It just happened.
No, I never spoke to Yorkie. I just look at Yorkie.
I know you were quiet, but yeah.
No, but you know, when sometimes too much information on football pitch is too much.
So it'd alert the defender, you think?
Yeah. So me and Yorkie played in silence.
Glance, looking at each other.
Yeah, we just look at each other.
I didn't.
So how do you know to over and stuff?
Positions.
Instinct.
I always knew where it was.
I had it with Tevez, where obviously, for different reasons, we didn't speak. So
He couldn't understand you.
More about. But by eye contact.
Yeah.
Colin, was there a particular moment where you and Teddy, you just bam, the friendship couldn't happen? Did something happen? Did you have a vexedness, an argument or something?
Obviously, it started like when I made my England debut, and he just, for whatever reason, he snubbed me. He didn't shake my hand on my debut.
Right.
And I was,
that was you done?
Yeah, I was mortified. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. Yeah, of course.
You're not expecting that.
As far as I'm concerned, you're a senior pro. I remember I've always watched England play. When someone's making a debut, whoever comes up makes a massive beeline for that individual to say, hey.
Oh, so you coming in as a sub-Coley?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, all right, cheesed off naturally and just got my head down. When he joined Man United, I was like, all right, get on with it. I remember the first day of pre-season, the boys were like, couldn't stop laughing at me.
Why?
Because they knew.
That you...
Yeah.
He didn't hide being pissed off very well.
Everyone knows that. And then I come in, pre-season, playing a game. You know, when someone's like trying to coach you into positions, I'm like, yo, I've been at Man United a minute now. You know? I actually know what I'm doing. Yeah. And then that happened. I let him know, look, don't try and coach me into positions because I've been at Man United. I've actually got a dab on playing for his football club. And then we play, we do that, and then I remember the final show for me was at Bolton. We ended up drawing 1-1 at Old Trafford. And they scored a late goal, and he said to me, that's your fault, that.
Wow.
And I remember saying to myself...
He was right.
Yeah.
No, was it?
No, I don't know.
I think the story goes around. I think the story.
If I can blame someone else for a goal, I will. You know?
Voice
Yeah,
like
so,
Gary.
I said to myself, OK, let's just get to the full time now. And like usually I'm one of the last off the pitch.
Right.
That day I was one of the first off the pitch. You know, so I've run down the tunnel and I wait for him to come in. And then we've had a little bit of a set to. I mean, I've just about caught my arm back, and then...
Wow.
Peacemaker?
Peacemaker come in for about...
So you're just ready to...
Yeah.
OK.
Peacemaker come in for about 30 seconds, and then turn it on its head.
What did you say?
Was I trying to break it up?
You tried to break it up, and then you got involved yourself.
Story of my life. Story of my life, Paulie, yeah.
What happened? What do you mean you got involved? How did you get involved? Was you...
Yeah, trying to stop it, and then did I have a few words with Teddy or something?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think do you know what's really important about all this stuff? And I go back to Coley with hang-ups with Teddy and whatever. And again, we always say there's two sides to every story. But the key is for all this stuff, this arguing, It never interfered.
No.
I don't think so. No. People might go, well, that's not good for the team.
That's the main thing.
But it never interfered with our targets as a team.
Never.
And that's trying to win the following weekend or the next game. I think people have to remember that. That's all part of...
That is... It's kind of... You know what? It's elite level professionalism.
Yeah, definitely.
But Righty, did that ever happen to you in your career? Because I couldn't walk into a change room thinking there's one of them that I'm not speaking to. I just couldn't live like that, me. I have to go and speak to them.
But there's loads of stuff with Coley and Teddy. There's other lads smiking.
You know what I mean?
I had that, though. Yeah. I had not getting on probably with someone, but when we played together on the pitch, we played really well together.
That's the key.
That's
the key.
Not mentioned.
Name names.
But when we crossed over the white line, I would have literally done anything, and she would have as well. I think you don't have to be best mates, do you?
No, I don't think you would ever not speak to someone. I think because he was inside every part of the changing room.
I'd speak to everyone, but I remember Vidic. He was a nightmare. He'd have an argument with someone. So I remember he didn't speak to Giggsy for 6 months, didn't speak to Patrice for months, didn't speak to... He'd have an argument with someone and he just wouldn't speak to them. And then I had an argument with him one time and he was going down that same route and she pulled him and said, grow up, what's up with you? We're teammates. Yes. So, but I think them, obviously, because Giggsy didn't bother with him to speak back then. And it went on for months. And he was the captain at the time.
See, so childish, that is.
Yeah, but did it affect anything? Did it affect anything the way you played? Did you see any...
No, not really. I wouldn't say so.
And that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the key.
I had it with, obviously, you had it as well. I had it with the manager, where we had a falling out, but come to match day, I'd run through a brick wall for him. Wouldn't let that bother our players, for myself, for the team.
Yeah. Did you pull him and say, grow?
If that whole feud between Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham is because Teddy Sheringham didn't shake his hand when he came off the pitch and Andy Cole got subbed on, that's just silly. I mean, come on. I mean, Teddy Sheringham, just to play devil's advocate a little bit here. I mean, I like Teddy Sheringham and I like Andy Cole as well. But to play sort of devil's advocate here, and maybe look at it from Teddy Sheringham's side, I don't know what Teddy Sheringham's opinion is on this whole matter. Hopefully he comes on the overlap and he explains his side of the story. I'm sure he will at some point. But he might just have been a little bit pissed off because he's been subbed. Because he's a seasoned pro, he wants to play, and he might have been playing well for England, or he might have been having a bad game, which is probably even worse. And he's been subbed off, he's probably just pissed off and frustrated, and he's just walked off. And it could have been anyone coming on the pitch that particular day. It could have been Earl Barrett, it could have been Kevin Phillips, it could have been anyone. And he wouldn't have shook their hand either. But it just so happened to be Andy Cole. And Andy Cole's, got the ump a little bit because of this, obviously, and then they haven't sorted it out straight away. It's lingered, and then obviously, he signed for Man United. His teammates are probably, stirring the pot a little bit, making it worse, and all of this. And it's just, and Andy Cole's stubborn. Teddy Sheringham probably doesn't even give a shit. It just seems silly, and it's a shame that two teammates who achieved so much together at Man United, they achieved a treble. They won the treble. They won the Intercontinental Cup together. I think they won 2 more league titles together as well. I mean, it's a shame that they can't bury the hatchet and let bygones be bygones. But it is what it is. But it's testament to their levels of professionalism on the pitch, at least, in that they never let it affect the way they play together, because they had some really good games together for Man United. They scored some important goals for the club together. They were very, very, very good. So, fair enough. And Roy Keane hits the nail on the head. As long as you don't let any of these silly feuds affect what's going on the pitch, in training, then, and obviously on the pitch in match day, then obviously it doesn't really matter if you get on with someone or not, because Schmeichel and Roy Keane didn't really like each other either, but they got on, they won titles together. So, but hey ho. What do you guys think? What do you think about the feud between Sheringham and Cole? Should they bury the hatchet? Is Andy Cole justified? Should Teddy Sheringham be bothered? Who should reach out to who to see if they can bury the hatchet? But you let me know. Put it in the comments. But if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe.